Circulation is what moves life, but after the age of 60, many men begin to feel that something is stopping inside. Tiredness, heavy legs, swelling, erection failures, and even memory lapses. Everything seems connected to an internal rhythm that has lost its strength. The good news is that science has already proven it. 4 natural foods have the power to reactivate male circulation. No medicines, no magic formulas. The most surprising? Almost no one consumes the last one on the list. And it can transform your energy, your vitality, and even your self-esteem. In this video, you'll find out how beets can reactivate blood flow with just 1 cup a day, why pumpkin seed is called male gold by functional nutrition, the hidden power of pure cocoa and its link to sexual health, and the rare food that doctors are recommending, but few men know. Watch to the end, because it is not age that paralyzes the body. These are the habits you haven't adopted yet. Subscribe for more videos on male vitality, longevity, and health after 60. Most men over the age of 60 begin to notice changes in their bodies silently. There is no alarm, there is no announcement. Just one day, when climbing a ladder or getting out of bed, the feeling is of inexplicable tiredness. Legs feel heavier, feet get swollen more often, and that energy that used to flow naturally, it just doesn't respond like it used to. Behind these signs is something that many ignore: circulation. And we are not just talking about the blood that runs through the veins, but the transport of oxygen, the delivery of nutrients, the cellular vitality. When circulation begins to fail, the entire body loses efficiency. From the brain to the intimate region, everything suffers. But what few people talk about, and almost no one teaches clearly, is that certain foods have the real power to activate this flow again. And among them, 4 stand out in a surprising way. The first of these is not new to those who study nutrition, but it is still absent from most men's tables: beets. Yes, this common tuber, which is often ignored in the supermarket, has a component called inorganic nitrate. When metabolized, it turns into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes blood vessels, improves arterial flow, and reduces pressure. Nitric oxide not only acts on the heart, but also on microcirculation, such as that of the feet, hands, and genital region. Studies published in the Journal of Applied Physiology have shown that regular consumption of beetroot juice can increase cardiovascular efficiency by up to 20%, especially in elderly men. The practical application of this is simple. 200 milliliters of beet juice a day, preferably in the morning, with a little lemon, are enough to improve absorption. In just 2 weeks, many report not only an improvement in mood, but also in sensitivity and sexual response. This is because proper circulation is directly responsible for erection, skin sensitivity, and mental clarity. Men who return to consuming beets regularly are often surprised by the result. The second food that needs to return to the male plate is called pumpkin seed. Small, discreet, and often discarded, it is one of the richest foods in zinc, a mineral fundamental for testosterone production and vascular health. Zinc acts as a cofactor in more than 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including the formation of nitric oxide and protection against oxidative stress in the arteries. In addition, these seeds contain magnesium, tryptophan, and phytosterols, which help control inflammation, one of the great villains of poor circulation. For those who suffer from cramps, tingling sensations in the legs, or swelling at the end of the day, including a daily serving of 20 to 30 grams of pumpkin seed can represent a radical change. And the preparation doesn't have to be complicated. They can be lightly toasted and eaten plain, added to salads, or even to natural yogurt. For many men, this simple gesture, repeated every day, begins to give back control over a body that seemed to be losing rhythm. But the real revolution happens when these foods are combined with simple changes in routine. Small daily walks of 15 minutes, adequate hydration throughout the day, and the exclusion of ultra-processed foods create the ideal environment for the benefits of the diet to be fully manifested. Circulation does not respond only to an isolated food, but to a lifestyle. And that's the most important thing men need to understand. Age doesn't paralyze the body, it's habits that do. Still, there are other lesser-known foods that have shown extraordinary effects on male circulation. The third and fourth on the list are as potent as they are unexpected, and one of them almost no one consumes in Brazil. It is considered exotic, but it is within the reach of anyone who understands its value. And it is about them that we will talk next. Because science has already confirmed, but the body only improves when the action begins. When we talk about activating circulation naturally, most people imagine industrialized medicines or formulas. But the third food on this list is clear proof that nature, when understood in depth, offers solutions that go beyond what is expected. Its name is pure cocoa, and it is a far cry from the chocolate that is usually sold in common markets. Pure cocoa, especially when powdered or in the form of unsweetened nibs, contains one of the highest known concentrations of flavonoids, particularly epicatechin. This compound acts directly on the production of nitric oxide, improves the elasticity of blood vessels, reduces blood pressure, and also promotes an antioxidant. What few people know is that in research conducted by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, men who regularly consumed cocoa with a high concentration of flavonoids demonstrated improved endothelial function, that is, the ability of arteries to relax and expand to allow adequate blood flow. More than a benefit for the heart, this means increased brain oxygenation, improved memory, greater ability to concentrate, and very clearly, improved male sexual performance. This is because by improving peripheral circulation, the body responds with more vigor, more sensitivity, and less fatigue. That's why many veteran athletes have incorporated pure cacao into their diet, not for pleasure, but for power, clarity, and endurance. The correct way to use it is simple: a tablespoon of pure cocoa powder mixed with a vegetable drink, such as oat milk or almond milk without sugar. It can be consumed hot when waking up or at night before going to sleep. Ideally, it should be combined with a small source of good fat, such as a teaspoon of coconut oil or natural peanut butter, to improve the absorption of flavonoids. The flavor can be intense, but the effects appear in a few days: a feeling of vigor, improved mood, and lightness in the legs. But the fourth food is undoubtedly the most surprising. Little consumed in Brazil, it is common in Asian and Mediterranean countries, and is still viewed with suspicion by many. Its name is pomegranate. Yes, the red, dense fruit full of small seeds wrapped in red liquid. What makes pomegranate special is not only its appearance, but the presence of ellagic acid and anthocyanins, highly vasodilating and anti-inflammatory compounds. Clinical studies conducted at the National Institute of Health have shown that pomegranate juice, when consumed by men over the age of 50 on a regular basis, contributed to a significant reduction in inflammatory markers and an increase in free testosterone. In addition, it improved the wall thickness of the carotid arteries, which carry blood to the brain. In other words, more circulation, more oxygen, and more vitality. The ideal form of consumption is simple: 200 milliliters of pure pomegranate juice extracted from fresh fruit without added sugar or preservatives. It can be consumed upon waking up or before lunch. An alternative is to consume the fruit in natura, chewing the seeds well to release its active compounds. In some regions, pomegranates can be expensive or hard to find, which is precisely why they remain off the table for so many men. But those who understand its value and invest in its frequent consumption end up accessing benefits that few know about: sustained energy, improved blood flow, and even emotional clarity. These four foods, beets, pumpkin seeds, pure cocoa, and pomegranate, form a powerful foundation for restoring circulation, reactivating disposition, and restoring the shine to masculinity that many thought was lost with age. But the secret is not only in them, it is in repetition, in habit, in discipline. Because it is not enough to know, it is necessary to apply, and above all to maintain. The biggest difficulty for elderly men is not knowing what works. It is knowing how to fit this into everyday life without turning life into a field of impossible rules. Many abandon good practices, not because they don't believe it, but because they find it difficult, expensive, or confusing. And this is exactly where the strength of a well-constructed routine lies. It doesn't have to be perfect, it needs to be sustainable. The combination of the four foods that activate circulation can be organized in a practical way throughout the day. Let's look at a real, applicable, and efficient example. When you woke up, around 7 o'clock in the morning, start the day with 200 milliliters of fresh beet juice, beaten with half a lemon and a small piece of ginger. This mixture not only activates the metabolism, but also provides natural nitrates and antioxidant compounds that relax the vessels and awaken the circulatory system. This is the first natural injection of vitality of the day. For breakfast, include a tablespoon of pure cocoa nibs or cocoa powder mixed with vegetable milk, such as oatmeal. It can be heated and consumed as a natural chocolate milk to mellow the flavor. A pinch of cinnamon or natural vanilla can be added. This preparation elevates mood, protects the heart, and enhances the production of nitric oxide. In addition, it increases the willingness to start the day with mental clarity. In the middle of the morning or in the afternoon snack, include 30 grams of pumpkin seed. This amount is equivalent to an average handful. They can be lightly toasted and stored in small jars, ready for consumption. They are rich in zinc, magnesium, and phytosterols, which are crucial for the health of the prostate, arteries, and testosterone. Many men who incorporate this habit notice an improvement not only in energy, but also in the quality of sleep. At lunch, or soon after, a glass of 200 milliliters of fresh pomegranate juice or fresh fruit, well chewed. The ideal is to vary the form of consumption, alternating between juice and fruit. Pomegranate acts silently, reducing inflammation, improving blood fluidity, and preventing hardening of the arteries. It is as if it cleans the small roads of the body, allowing everything to work more lightly. This simple organization, divided throughout the day, allows the body to receive constant and balanced stimuli. It is not an isolated impact, but a continuous construction of health made brick by brick, food by food. And for those who ask, but what if I forget one of them? The answer is straightforward, no problem. Perfection was never necessary. What matters is constancy. If today you consumed 3 of the 4, tomorrow you resume. The body understands, reacts, and adapts. The most important thing is not to give up in the first week. Circulation does not change from one day to the next. It responds to a sum of actions. Along with food, small habits strengthen this process. Drinking water throughout the day, at least 1.5 liters, keeps the blood fluid. Walking for 15 minutes, even indoors, activates the leg muscles and stimulates venous return. Avoiding sitting for more than an hour without moving is essential, especially for those who already suffer from varicose veins or cold feet. Another fundamental point is sleep. Poor sleep reduces the production of nitric oxide and increases levels of cortisol, a hormone that constricts vessels and hinders circulation. Therefore, ensuring 7 hours of restful sleep is an essential part of this process. Science has already proven the effectiveness of these foods. The body is grateful when it gets what it needs. But there is still one piece missing for all this to really work: the mind. As much as science has revealed substances that improve circulation, as much as we have powerful foods at our fingertips, there's one factor that acts invisibly, and often much more decisive than any nutrient: man's emotional state. The connection between mind and body is no longer a philosophical topic. It's pure biology. Stress, anxiety, and chronic sadness cause a direct reaction in the blood vessels. When the brain interprets a situation as threatening, it releases cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones, in excess, cause vasoconstriction, that is, contraction of the vessels, hindering blood flow. The result? Cold hands, numb feet, a racing heart for no reason, and often failures in sexual response. In addition, stress reduces the natural production of testosterone, which affects not only vitality but also self-esteem and the feeling of internal strength. In other words, what you think, you feel, and what you feel shapes your circulation. Therefore, the man who wishes to reactivate the energy of the body must first restore the serenity of the mind. We're not talking about advanced meditation or complex techniques. Just start with one small habit: 5 minutes a day of mindful breathing. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold the air for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly for 4 seconds and repeat. This simple exercise, when practiced daily, already significantly reduces cortisol levels. It teaches the body that the present moment is safe, and when the body feels safe, it circulates well again. Another point is the emotion we carry in front of life, the feeling of worthlessness, very common among men who have retired or lost some purpose, has a profound impact on circulation. The lack of projects, challenges, and goals, no matter how small they may be, causes a kind of internal disconnection. The brain doesn't send the same commands. The muscles don't respond in the same way. The blood seems to circulate directionlessly. That's why having something to take care of, something to build, and someone to love is still the best medicine. It can be a vegetable garden, a book to read, a walk with someone, a promise made to yourself. The important thing is that there is something that moves man forward, because where there is movement, there is blood. Where there is meaning, there is life pulsating inside. And finally, never forget, circulation is not only physical, it is also emotional. Forgiveness, gratitude, and joy are feelings that literally expand the vessels, increase the production of vasodilatory substances, and activate areas of the brain linked to pleasure and vitality. They are natural tools that cost nothing, but that many men have not yet learned to use. So this video is not just about food, it's about awareness, about reconnecting body, mind, and purpose, because a heart that knows why it beats, it never ceases to circulate. A summary of the routine to activate male circulation. Naturally, upon waking, 200 milliliters of beet juice with lemon. Breakfast, a tablespoon of pure cocoa with vegetable milk. Mid-morning or snack, 30 grams of pumpkin seed. Lunch or after, fresh pomegranate juice or fruit. Throughout the day, 1.5 liters of water, plus 15 minutes of walking. Before bed, conscious breathing for 5 minutes. During the week, maintain a ukius. Purpose: avoid stress, seek emotional connection. At 60, 70, or 80, life is still in the making. You just need to go back to circulating with it.